Welcome to the Midnight Bible Study. The nuclear prophecy of Iran is happening now. That's the topic of today's report. April 2024, Iran unleashed a barrage of missiles and drones. We all know about it. They were targeting Israel in retaliation for April 1st suspected Israeli strike on the consulate in Damascus, which killed 13 people. Israel is bracing for an attack now after assassinations in Beirut and Tehran. The official said Israel fears waves of missiles and drones could be fired over several days in response to the killing of Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh and Hezbollah commander Fouad Shakur. This is all happening. The assassinations have happened, and Israel is waiting for the response. They've been waiting for 17 days, which can be a form of psychological warfare if you're waiting to be attacked by a massive missile attack coming from all directions, coming from the Houthis, possibly coming from the north, from Hezbollah, possibly from Iran. You just don't know where it's coming from. Could be internal. Iran has already said the attack is coming. They've already said the attack is coming. They have to attack now, or they're going to lose face and lose deterrence. Now, Hezbollah today has released a video of a massive missile complex underneath Lebanon. These are massive tunnels that stretch underneath Lebanon, north of the Israeli border somewhere. And the tunnels are so large that they are driving. They released a video showing this. They can drive huge trucks down these shafts, carrying racks of missiles. And the message is clear. The message is threatening. The attack is coming, and the potential is for devastation in Israel. Israel is bracing for attack. A massive attack on Israel could prompt them to take extreme action, to take out Iran's nuclear facilities at any moment. The Jeremiah prophecy occurred 2,700 years ago. Think of this. This is in the Bible. 2,700 years ago, almost 3,000 years ago, there was a prophecy. Yet it's now playing out. Now. Incredible. This was known almost 3,000 years ago. This was prophesied. It was known 2,700 years ago. According to Bill Salas in his book, The Now Prophecies, Jeremiah 49:34-39 seems to deal with what is presently taking place in Iran. However, in the last weeks, it's even become more threatening. Now, if the threat was true back in 2016, it's rapidly now spinning out of control every day. Just look at what's been happening now, lately. Now, Jeremiah 49:34 alludes to Iran's military action, specifically its nuclear and intercontinental ballistic missiles, the ICBM programs. Jeremiah 49:38-39 then shifts the focus to Christians within Iran. Iran has the world's fastest growing population, yes, that's right, of Christians, despite the intense persecution. These people they're kind of like in prison in Iran. They're in great danger within their own company. Now, Jeremiah 49:38 again. House church movements have begun all over Iran, providing deep fellowship that has helped many Iranian believers to remain firm in their faith amid great persecution. According to persecution.org, Iran's regime has even sentenced some to death under charges of apostasy and as spies threatening its Islamic system. Now, the word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah the prophet against Elam in the beginning of the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah, saying, in Jeremiah 49:35, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, I will break the bow of Elam, the chief of their might. Now the Elam prophecy. Note the Jeremiah prophecy, again, it occurred 2,700 years ago. 2,700 years ago. Yet it's playing out now. Elam is the part of modern Iran that borders the Persian Gulf. Elam is location of Iran's Bushehr nuclear reactor. It sits upon the conversion of 3 tectonic plates and is a nuclear disaster waiting to happen. Also, Iran is contracted with Russia to construct several more of these nuclear reactors in the area. Now, Jeremiah 49:35. What does break the bow of Elam mean? What does that mean, break the bow of Elam? Does this refer to an earthquake of faults in that area that caused a nuclear accident? I mean, who builds a nuclear power plant on top of converging earthquake faults? Whose idea was that? Okay, or does break the bow of Elam refer to a military disaster? Either way, disaster is a disaster. Ezekiel 39:7 says, Ezekiel states that the Lord is going to uphold his holy name through his people, Israel. But if Iran nukes and destroys Israel prior to this end times war, the Lord's plan to uphold his holy name through Israel would be impossible. That's not going to happen. Ezekiel 39:7 would not be fulfilled in that case. In that case, the Lord, rather than Iran, would be humiliated. So therefore, Iran has set themselves up in order to humiliate God. That was not very smart. This puts Iran on a collision course with disaster. Now, Jeremiah 49:35. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will break the bow of Elam, the chief of their might. Why would God be angry at Iran? I can't imagine. But consider 2 reasons. First, in Iran, converting to Christianity today is a guaranteed path to severe persecution. Second, Iran has threatened to wipe Israel off the map, and I'm not talking about just in the last few weeks. This has happened years ago, and they've been building towards this for years, decades. The result of going to war against God will be a massive disaster for Iran. Jeremiah 49:36. Says, and upon Elam I will bring the 4 winds from the 4 quarters of heaven, and will scatter them towards all those winds. And there shall be no nation whither the outcasts of Elam shall not come. The 4 winds, a symbol of utter hopelessness. The people of Elam will be scattered to all nations worldwide. Doesn't sound like good things are happening in Elam. Jeremiah 49:37. For I will cause Elam to be dismayed before their enemies, and before them that seek their life. Again, I will cause Elam to be dismayed before their enemies. That might be Israel or allies. And before them that seek their life. And I will bring evil upon them. Even my fierce anger, saith the Lord, and I will send the sword after them till I have consumed them. I wouldn't want to be in Israel's shoes, in Iran's shoes. No, thank you. Iran will be humiliated and beaten down by its enemies. Jeremiah 49:38. And I will set my throne in Elam, and will destroy from thence the king and the princes, saith the Lord. That doesn't sound very good for Iran. Jeremiah 49:39. But it shall come to pass in the latter days that I will bring again the captivity of Elam, saith the Lord. This alludes to the return and restoration of the dispersed Iranians, those that fled the area when the disaster occurred. So who knows how that all comes about. But what we have now is a situation where Iran has already threatened Israel. Israel's waiting for the attack. It can happen literally tonight, within the hour, any minute. They've been waiting 17 days. The clock is ticking. It's going to happen. How severe will it be? Are they going to make a severe attack on Israel? Because if it gets really severe, Israel's got to worry. Iran has already threatened to wipe them off the map. And we've heard in just the last week that Israel is, if they don't already have a nuclear bomb, they're within days of having it. Maybe that's why they've waited 17 days, because we know this week we've been told that they're within days of having a nuclear weapon. Obviously, Israel knows this, and if they're hit hard, they may have reason to think that Iran's finally going to make good on what they've been promising for all these years, to wipe them off the map. And Israel's not going. That's not going to happen. Israel may have to take some extreme actions, like taking out Iran's nuclear weapons. Now, that's not going to be an easy. Thing to do. But the Elam prophecy is happening now, and anything can happen right now. We're just waiting, but Israel is in a perilous situation. Iran is in even a much more perilous situation, because they've already made the threats. They're going to have to do something, and when they do that, they're putting everything on the line. The stakes could have never been higher in Israel, and certainly in Iran. Pray for Israel. Pray for the children of Israel. God bless you, and good night from the Midnight Bible Study.